I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love a brand that is born so passionately out of necessity. Addison Bay, founded by Philadelphia's very own Marguerite Adzick, is exactly that. At 6 months pregnant, many women would be taking it easy, nesting. Marguerite decided to build an empire back in 2018, and I'm so honored that she took the time to share that experience with me, tell me all about that background, her story, where the brand has gone, which, hint, it's doing incredibly well, and where she sees it going in the future. It was also a lot of fun to hear the behind the scenes process of her design experience, especially because that was a learning experience for her. It wasn't her original background. She was in marketing. This was just a really genuine, fun conversation that I hope you enjoy as much as I did. Welcome to Grandma's Silver, where tradition meets today. I'm Allie, your host and the founder of the Grand Millennial Lifestyle. Here, we blend aesthetics with nostalgia, engaging in conversations with lifestyle brands, designers, and more to rediscover the timeless charm of the past. Join me as we journey from home to heart, illuminating the past and polishing the present with the gleam of Grandma's Silver. All right. Well, hello, Marguerite. I'm so excited to have you here. For those who don't know, again, Marguerite has Addison Bay, which I'm going to just turn this over to you and let you tell everyone about your brand and who you are and how it came to be in that journey, because I know it's a fun story.
Well, Allie, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to chat about all things Addison Bay and working life, all the craziness. But before I started Addison Bay, so I went to the University of Virginia and I played lacrosse there. So I do have an active background. It's not completely random. And I really enjoyed my experience being a college athlete. And then after graduating from UVA, I started working at Lilly Pulitzer's headquarters right outside of Philadelphia for 7 years. And I was on the marketing team there. Absolutely loved what I was doing. Loved it. I am still very, very good friends with a lot of the people that work there. But I got the entrepreneurial itch, and it was so interesting. I had such a good experience learning about the fashion industry and how a fashion company is really structured. And I got the itch to do something myself. So at the same time, I was 29 years old at the time. This is 2017, and my husband and I were actually trying to start a family at the time, and had to go through several rounds of IVF, and I finally got pregnant and with my daughter, who just turned 6 last week. I can't even believe it. And I hit that like 12, 14 week mark where I'm like, okay, great, feeling good. And I looked around, I was like, all right, this is the perfect time to start a business and write a business plan, pitch the idea to a couple of friend and family round of investors. And I know, looking back, it actually seems wild. And the people around me were like, wait, this seems wild. You just worked so hard to get pregnant and, start a family. And this is everything that you wanted. And you have an amazing job too. Like, a lot of people were like, what are you thinking? And to me, the timing just felt right. I was holding back for a little bit. Really put family planning on the forefront and this entrepreneurial idea on the back burner. And so I started writing the business plan. I raised a little bit of cash, and I resigned when I was 6 months pregnant from Lilly Pulitzer. So that was a pretty wild transition. And I moved into our offices in early 2018, and we were off to the races.
I love that. I don't know that you explicitly mentioned it, but Addison Bay is essentially an activewear brand. I know you will talk about some of your other pieces too, because it's incredible for those who haven't seen the lines. What's interesting is, and something I was even going to bring up, is that what you created is very much, I think, not only a representation of sort of where you were in your life and are now, but where so many like modern women are coming from. Because I was just laughing, pre-recording, that I showed up to the, people can't see me when they're listening to this, but I showed up makeup free. I threw on a blouse, but I told Marguerite that sorry I showed up this way, but like I'm planning on squeezing a workout in, then I have to hit the grocery store, then I have to keep working. So the modern, like today's woman is kind of trying to do all the things, and you still want to look presentable. Your clothing allows that because, I come from an event planning background. I used to be a lot more dressed up every day. It was a full face of makeup every day. It was a nice outfit every day. I was doing less errand running during the week. Things looked drastically different than they do today. And I think for women, especially post-pandemic, for so many of us working from home, even if that's like not, if you're not a mom yet or any of those things, you're essentially creating the wardrobe we all kind of have been needing because
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
want to change 4 times a day based on the activity I'm doing. I want to be able to do all of the things in one outfit that makes me still look polished and presentable and works for everything I'm doing. Like I'm not going to be uncomfortable at any given time based on, I can hit the grocery store and not look disgusting. I can
Yeah, exactly.
exercise and still feel like I'm wearing what I need for that. It's, fitting right. I can grab a drink with friends if I needed to and still look put together. So yeah, I
Totally.
think you're hitting like the perfect market really, because it's sort of this gap you're filling.
So interesting. You actually used a couple of our buzzwords that we use a lot. So, simply put, Addison Bay is elevated activewear. So, our mission is to offer the modern wardrobe for the modern woman. And when you kept saying the word modern, I'm like, we talk about those words all the time. We use that all of the time, especially in design meetings and on the marketing side too. And we really want to design and produce polished activewear pieces that can be worn from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you just threw out a couple of your activities for the day, between work and grocery store and all the things. Our girl needs to be functional. She needs to be comfortable, but she cares how she looks. She wants to look good. And that's where that elevated piece comes in.
Mhm.
And I always use myself as an example. And I think the marketing team uses me quite a bit. It was not like that in the early days, but now it makes sense. But I am a mom of four. I just had my fourth.
Congratulations.
And so I wake up, like 5:36. I either do a quick workout or, lunches or all the things. Then I am getting, I call it the morning marathon. The morning marathon is very real. I get the four kids up, dressed, fed, out the door, lunches, backpacks, all the things. Then, get them to their said places. And then I'm at the office 8:30 to 5 every single day, 5 days a week. So I need to look good. I need to look polished, put together, even at school drop off. I want to look good, like in front of
Right.
those other moms, in front of the teachers. I want to look polished, put together, but comfort is key. I just went through the morning marathon. That's very real. So juggling all those things. And then when I leave the office, I'm, back on the floor playing with my kids at 5:45 tonight.
Yep.
And to your point, I don't have time to change 3 different times, for all the activities that I'm trying to fit in for the day. So I think that's really like enter Addison Bay. We create elevated activewear that you can wear from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it's
Mhm.
truly the modern wardrobe. And post COVID, it's definitely helped a bit. But I think it's the wave of the future. It's how women are dressing, and it's a lot more casual, but again, still elevated.
Absolutely. And that is, I think, an important thing to stress for anyone who is listening who hasn't yet popped over to your website, seen your clothes. These are not, because I will tell you right now, I can't stand wearing leggings. I wish I was different. I wish I was different. My life would be so much easier, but I hate it. I hate everything about a legging. And I am not someone like I wish that I could be one of those women who just like throws a pair of leggings on and is good for the day, but I'm not. And so then that's where my struggle comes in, but that's also where your brand has that solution of I could honestly look at your pieces, and even if I had no intention of running errands, working out, or doing anything more active, I could easily throw one of those dresses on and go to happy hour and look just as polished as someone who just came from the office. So I think that yeah, you're hitting on something that is very present, very real, very necessary, and it's just how our lives look right now. Like,
Absolutely.
not to overuse that modern woman phrase, but it really is. I mean, that's what we're doing. And even if you're not working out of the home, like I don't, for the most part, work out of the home. I still like to look decent. I
Yeah,
still don't
totally.
want to feel frumpy and gross. And that's just, I can't operate that way if I've never been a person who can just like lounge around in pajamas. I mean, I just told you I
Yeah.
don't like leggings, so you've probably already garnered that.
Yeah, no, that look good, like the look good, feel good mentality is very real. It's very
Yes.
real. Like if you look more polished and put together, you feel better. Like you just do. But again, like one word that we always use in our design meetings, nothing can be fussy. Like nothing
Yes.
can be fussy or uncomfortable. We often don't use like a lot of zippers. Like if it's like a, side zipper, that's not for us. Like we're really focused on more like comfort, functionality, combined with that like fashion, polished, elevated feel. So those are the two principles that are always combined, and it's a good North Star. It's a good gut check for all of our pieces.
Absolutely. And I have questions about some of that for you in a minute, but I want to back up really quickly because
Yeah.
we haven't talked about the name of your company and where that came from. So why don't you go ahead and tell people that story?
Yes. So I was living on Addison Street, in Center City, Philadelphia, during the inception of the company. And I was still working at Lilly Pulitzer and writing the business plan late at night at our kitchen counter, pregnant with my daughter, Annie. And I just couldn't stop thinking about this idea. And Addison Street was such a important part of the early days in that original story. It's really where it all started. So Addison is a huge piece. And then Bay comes from swimming in the Bay in Avalon, New Jersey, which is it really invokes that active lifestyle. And it's very nostalgic to me and my childhood and growing up swimming with my siblings.
I love that. And especially being kind of a suburban Philadelphian myself, I think that connection is really neat because I know those places. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's very fun. I love that. One of the things that you were talking about just now, and I'm kind of jumping around here, but the design element of your pieces.
Mm-hmm.
In general, what your process looks like for, what pieces you started with, how they've evolved, or how the brand has elevated and evolved since its inception, because you are now, that was 2018, right? So you're
Yep.
6 years, which is incredible. Congratulations. That's a big milestone. You have so many pieces now, and you always have new pieces. So what is your design process? But then also, since becoming a mother and as you've had more children and grown your family, what have the conversations been internally that guide the design process as you evolve? I guess is kind of the question I'm asking, because I'm sure that there's something guiding all of that.
Yeah.
It's more personal.
There are so many, that's such a good question. There's so many fun layers to this. So I'll go back to the original days in 2018. So I mentioned I wrote a business plan. I thought, to like anyone starting a business, they should write a business plan. I thought it was a very good exercise, very therapeutic. I got a lot. You have to write your thoughts down on paper and challenge yourself a little bit. And in that business plan, I wrote, so originally we were actually a curation model. So we were curating 30 different brands, and it was like this one-stop shop for fashion forward activewear. So that was 2018. I knew nothing about design and production. I probably sat as far away in the building at Lilly Pulitzer's headquarters from design and production. So that really wasn't like in the forefront as much. So on the business plan, I think I wrote, we'll launch our private label year 4 or 5 once we understand who our consumer is. And I mean, 3 months in December of 2018, I was like, I know exactly who my consumer is. And I know she's asking me for pieces that I cannot find in the market and I cannot curate. And I need to make them myself. So that's kind of like one of the original light bulb moment of like, okay, the Addison Bay label, there's something here. I hired a production gal who's still with me today. She's amazing. And we brought this line to life that launched in December of 2019. So we're 15 months into the business at this time, super tight and right, 4 SKUs or 4 styles, a couple SKUs in each style, like really, really tight. Our everyday pullover, our everyday legging with our stripe, an everyday crop, and an everyday long sleeve. Like really, really, it was just tight and right. But I was like, let's see how this does. And we sold out right away. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I think we might have something. I had no goods left for Christmas that year. Addison Bay was selling. All my other brands were sitting, collecting dust. And I'm like, I think I need to start pivoting my business model. So I think that's something important to note is like, we were actually a curation model. I was like, yeah, well, we'll get there year 4 or 5. And now we're 100%. Fast forward 5.5, 6 years, we're 100% Addison Bay. So it's been such a cool process. So with that, there's so much learning that has come from that. And I hired amazing, super smart people around me to help facilitate that process. But the design process is, so the 2 keys, I keep mentioning this, but like function and fashion. Everything needs to check those 2 boxes. That's our North Star. It needs to keep up with her very active lifestyle, and she needs to be able to wear it from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's super important. So like we really have some North Star gut checks of like, does it check all these boxes? Stripes are our thing. You'll see it everywhere. I think striped activewear is something we're doing extremely well, and we're really differentiating in the market. No one else is doing striped activewear. So when you see someone wearing, a striped pullover or a legging with stripes on the street, it's Addison Bay, and that feels really good without having like big branding on anything. Like you just know it's AB, which I love. Seeing people in the wild will never get old.
Oh, I'm sure that has to be the coolest feeling.
It's so cool. It's so cool. But yeah, I mean, top level, like I think there's two pieces to this. One, we like changed our model so much, and it's been such a game changer for us and really the reason why the business has taken off. And 2, in terms of like diving into that, the design elements, striped activewear, elevated polished pieces that can take you from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., all parts of your day. That's our thing. And we do it really, really well. And we're super focused on it. Like our blinders are on. We are so focused at what we're doing. We want to be the best at what we're doing, giving women elevated activewear. And I feel like we're kind of like playing in our own playground. Like we aren't really competing with anyone else because we're doing our own thing and doing it really, really well.
I love it. I would also like to disclaim when I said I didn't like leggings, I meant a certain MLM that everyone was always wearing because I just felt like I was wearing PJs. I love a good matching workout set, but again, a lot of them are not designed to go from like AM to PM. So for those who do like a legging, I mean, even I wear my athleisure leggings frequently, but again, like then I feel like I have to change if I'm going out because they look like a workout legging. So I do love, you do have some super cute, we'll talk about all your patterns and stuff soon, but what I want to back up to the latter part of my question, because I know I gave you a lot earlier. So how internally, as you are curating your new designs or your new pieces, or even new colorways or what have you for existing pieces that people love, internally, what conversations are you having that are determining what those are like, how do you have certain inspirations that are guiding your design? How frequently are you releasing new pieces? What is that process?
Again, I've hired such smart people that work with me every day. I love my team so much. Like they are amazing. So I think that's the best thing that I've done is bring in people that are really talented, and I get to work with them every day. And I really enjoy working with all of them. But so twofold here. One, our designer is fabulous, and she's very like, looking at those vintage pictures and like kind of bringing in that 70s slim errands in Palm Beach combined with Nantucket coastal summers and like a little bit of all those things. And we combine that like design element with our allocator and planner who is so data driven. And we merge both worlds. And that is how we've gotten really good at it. Like we really are so data driven and we understand the consumer so much. We know right now that she's obsessed with palm and like she loves that green combined with her whites for this summer. We don't have enough palm in stock right now. I just got out of a meeting talking about palm, and like the amount of times I said palm in the last 60 minutes is so funny, but it's because we're so data driven and we really, really dive into all of the analytics behind the fashion. And I think that's important because like the style and the fashion element's really important, but in terms of like business strategy, the data is so important. And believe it or not, my designer loves the data so much. Like, again, she's very, very, she loves all the design elements and can get a little ethereal and out there, which is so cool. And then our planner like brings her back to reality and she loves that data too, because it drives her, it leads her in a direction. So the two worlds of like fashion and data coming together, it's so fun. I sound dorky. But it's so fun.
But it makes so much sense because you're essentially describing the left brain, right brain, and how when you combine them, it's just like it just takes off and is incredible.
Exactly.
So yeah, I love that. The other thing too is it's not overly trendy. It's like you can do things that there are certain elements that are trendy, but you're describing, like that vintage classic. You're drawing from a very timeless perspective or aesthetic, and so regardless of what people are going for now, whether it's the palm or whatever, I hate to throw the word aesthetic around, but that is kind of what it is. But those pieces don't go out of style.
Yeah,
Like you're
that's
approaching
such a
it
good
from a
point.
really classic way.
It's such a good point. I think a lot of our designs are rooted in that classic and elevated look that I mentioned, and we heavily lean into stripes, which what's more classic than stripes?
Never going
Um,
anywhere.
I know, exactly. And we innovate by keeping it modern through sporty fabrications or new silhouettes. And again, that's the striped activewear. Like we've really been able to differentiate ourselves in the market, which is so cool.
Yeah.
We do again like data driven, but we dive into all of the details in terms of surface design. So the split between our solids and stripes are like nearly even. That is
Wow.
wild, but it's because I believe that stripes are very classic and we can modernize in a couple different ways. And we just have a lot of fun doing it. But again, like everything is so data driven. Like we listen to her, we hear her, and she tells us. So the consumer, she tells
Right.
us. So and we take the data super seriously, and it really helps guide us. It's like such a North Star. She's telling us what she loves.
Do you do this seasonally? How frequently are you revising your inventory, revising your piece, or editing your pieces?
Yeah. So typically we start seasonally. And then more recently, we've been trying to do monthly drops. So we'll probably do 10 drops this year, not 12. But we are doing monthly drops because we tested it with her and she absolutely loved it in early February. And now we're rolling out some summer solstice drop in June. We've never done a June drop before. I honestly, we've just kind of had a ton of events in the summer and waited until our pre-fall capsule. And now we're testing it with her and our returning consumer loves it. So I think traditionally we were that 4 seasons a year. We're actually spring, summer, fall resort, not winter. So she's packing her bag with Addison Bay. And that's where we were initially. And now we're at about 10 drops per year. That being said, your March, April drops and September, October, November drops are far bigger than your February, August, those drops. So I
Right.
think they're not all created equal, but I love the idea of more frequent drops because I think it makes sense for the consumer's life and we're keeping up with her lifestyle and her calendar. We can dress her for all parts of her calendar year.
I love that approach. Could you talk to me now a little bit more specifically about some of your favorite pieces, even potentially some of your favorite palettes, color palettes, patterns?
Okay, so our active dresses, I think we have nailed active dresses. And again, like it's such a differentiator in the market. So I'm so proud of the team here. They are functional. So I played tennis this morning at 6 a.m., wore my active dress with my undershort and I was definitely the cutest on the tennis court. And then you can also run around in your active dresses all day. So I wear them often. I feel like I can wear it to the office. We've really nailed active dresses and then we've innovated off there. So you can't ever get complacent when you launch a style. You need to launch a style, then innovate, innovate, innovate. And that is what the team is doing so well. So we launched our Panama dress. And since then she turned into a racket, then a Liberty. And, she has this journey. And so I think that's been amazing. So I love our active dresses so much. Skirts are the new leggings. Allie, skirts
I
are
know.
the new leggings.
And I'm a
So
pickle.
there
I
you
used
go.
to play, tennis and now I play pickleball. So I'm all about the sports.
Yes. So there you go. So that's your solution to not loving leggings. Wear skirts. I'm team skirt 12 months a year. I know it's like freezing in January, but I still love a skirt. I think it looks so elevated, so cute. You can wear it to be active or just running around. And then in terms of palettes, anything striped, like
Yeah.
honestly, anything we put out striped sells. It's so
And it
interesting. But
honestly works with any season.
it works with any season.
I mean, particularly the warmer months, I don't know that maybe that's just me. I just think it has like a very classic nautical look to it, but it can work in a colder month too.
It does work in a colder month. So we
It's
launched,
kind
I
of
think.
festive.
Exactly. We launch so we do resort like I mentioned and again we find that our consumer is, getting on airplanes and traveling, different places November, December, January, warmer destinations typically and she needs to she's going to do something active on her vacation whether it's just like walking into town for coffee or actually playing tennis, golf, whatever. So we rolled out our resort collection and I think our striped active dresses were our number one sellers in December. And we're in
Wow.
Northeast Graham. We're headquartered in Philadelphia. We have a lot of consumers in the area. So that tells you that either our girls heading to sunny destinations or we're selling to consumers in Florida, Texas, which are some of our biggest states. So I think that's just such an interesting thing to talk about, like
It is, yeah.
in terms of the assortment that you're putting out. And then, but palette wise, beyond stripes, a couple colors are kind of becoming core. Again, I'm coming out of this meeting where we're talking about some core colors. And so Palm are like green. That's kind of like a Kelly green. It's so classic. Our Matisse, which is this really fresh blue. You're going to see Matisse come on strong again in 2025. So we're really getting behind this color as like a brand color. And then Petal, it's this gorgeous pink, and she cannot get enough. We've definitely left dollars on the table this year, not making enough Petal, but she is really fresh and really pretty. So those are kind of three colors that are like they're turning into brand colors right now, and we're having a lot of conversations about them. Again, the data conversations sound a little dorky, but they're really fun.
I think they're fascinating. And what's interesting too, not interesting, but those colors are generally very flattering, which is nice too,
Right.
because there are a lot of times where I'll look at activewear and it's just, especially if I'm not traveling and I'm here in the winter, it's just like, oh my gosh, there's a 0% chance I could wear that without a tan, or, like there's
Right.
just different, but those colors, again, if people take a look, which I highly encourage, it's very flattering color palettes that work regardless of the time of year, honestly, regardless of your location. So I think, yeah, they're just very, very classic, very flattering, very versatile.
Yep.
The colors and the pieces. You don't have to overthink that part too much. You can just kind of see what you gravitate toward, which is nice.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. Now, I'd like to briefly just touch on, because I believe you have a bit of a sustainability and ethically sourced product kind of focus. I don't know if that's something that you want to talk about or touch on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll touch on it quickly. All of our factories use ethical practices. So, that's the first thing that we look into before we move forward with any of our factory partners. So, I think that's important to note. And I've got a lot of my factory relationships through my past at Lilly. So, again, like we've done a lot of the groundwork there, and we're working with some really great factories. So, pleased on that front. And then in terms of sustainability, 32% of our fabrics are sustainable, and we'll continue to push more sustainable options here. I think the important thing to note for us is that we're making this push towards sustainability because it's the right thing to do. Like, we're not doing it because sustainability is cool. Like, we're doing it because it's right. So
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at right now. It wasn't part of the core values that I created in 2018, but it has quickly evolved, and it's part of the world that we live in. And it's very important to us. So we're definitely trying to source fabrications that are sustainable and doing what's right. But again, it's because it's right.
It's one of those things that I think a lot of people are unfortunately throwing them around like buzzwords because it is
Right.
considered
Right.
trendy, but at the same time, I don't even know if it's so much trendy as it's just more unfortunate information is becoming more widely available. And so
Right.
it's
Right.
kind of like this aha moment of like pump the brakes, wait, we need to do
Yeah.
something about this. But consumers can do something about that too, and it is to shop brands that are being mindful about the way that they are producing their goods. So
Right.
consumers, it's on us too. So yeah, I appreciate you talking about that. I just thought that was something that was important to throw out because it feels
Yeah.
irresponsible as someone talking to a brand to not mention that. I'd like to shift slightly for the last few questions that I have here, because understanding your brand is very personal. It stemmed from a very personal space. We're both in the Philadelphia area. I wanted to talk to you a little bit just about your experience as a suburban Philadelphian.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Philly's the best. So, any Philly listeners, like, we are just the luckiest. So, Center City, I love Rittenhouse Square and Fittler Square. I mean, our kids, like, when we lived in the city, we were at these parks all of the time and just running around. It's so, so fun. One of my favorite restaurants, Park, PARC, is right next to Rittenhouse Square. It's my husband and I's favorite restaurant ever. It's so, so good. So I love true Center City, like Rittenhouse Square area is really special to us. I love Valley Green so much. It is like just heaven. It is like walking trails and you can run around, you can bring kids. It's everything. There's a beautiful creek that kind of runs through it. It's historic. So I absolutely love Valley Green. And then, I mean, the Philly sports scene is amazing. I
Yeah,
am such a big Philly sports fan, but
we
like a
are in this
Phillies game
house
in the
as well.
summer, like it doesn't get better. It's so fun. Kids, no kids, whatever. Like our stadiums are awesome, not too far from the city. So we're so lucky in that regard. So I'm a big Philly sports fan, and I love the Eagles, Phillies. We're so lucky. So I always suggest hitting up a Phillies game in the summer.
I feel like you need to experience a Philly game of any kind because the energy is unmatched. It is really just the coolest experience. The energy is wild. The camaraderie is incredible. We love Philly sports, and I feel like that's not talked about very often, but at least in this sphere.
Yeah,
So yeah, we are the same way. We're all about the Philly sports in this house.
love it.
You have a very vintage inspired classic brand. Does any of the nostalgia, do you integrate any of that into your own family life, personal life? Because I know it can be really hard. I don't have children yet, but I have 9 nieces and nephews. But so we have a lot of kids around, and I know it's really different to have a family in 2024 than it was even 10 years ago. So I would be curious to hear a little bit about like what your summers look like with your kids being home, and if you're doing anything mindfully in that way as someone who appreciates a little bit of nostalgia and tradition.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, I mean, summer is just the best. Besides like the warmer weather, which naturally makes you so happy. Summer is all about family. So, to me, I just feel so lucky. I am very, very, very close with my parents and my siblings, my sister-in-laws, my nieces and nephews. We have 10 too.
Yeah.
There's a million kids running around. And fortunately, we get a ton of time together in the summer, and we all come together in Avalon, New Jersey. My brothers have bought homes right next door to my parents, so the compound has commenced, and it is exactly how I grew up. It is this kind of like old school vibe. Growing up on the Jersey Shore, running around all day long, like yes, parenting is different these days, but in Avalon, for some reason, it just feels so old school. You're not on your iPad, you're not like connected to your phone. You're kind of just in the bay, at the beach, on the boat, running around all day long until you're absolutely exhausted at the end of the day. And that is exactly how I grew up with all my siblings and cousins, and exactly how I'm raising my 4 kids with all of their siblings and cousins.
I
So
love it.
I just love like the old school active nature of our beach town. And again, it's how my parents grew up and how my grandparents raised them. It's how our parents raised us, and then we're passing it down to the next generation. It's so old school. It's awesome. I love it so much. And so this summer and all summers, it's just all about family.
I love that. And how special is it that you get to share experiences that you had and that you remember with your children now in the same space? Yeah.
Exactly.
Before we wrap up, is there anything that folks can look forward to seeing from you and your brand in the coming months, years, that we should keep an eye out for?
Oh, yes, so much. So in the more like distant future, this fall, we have a huge collaboration coming up with one of our favorite influencers. So you'll have to follow Addison Bay and wait for that announcement. It's going to be amazing, and it's been a year in the making. So we are absolutely thrilled about that. And then a little bit more in the near future, we have like amazing products and initiatives happening in the lifestyle space. So we started off 100% active, and our consumer was looking for more Addison Bay lifestyle. And so we dipped our toe in the pool and worked hard to develop and expand that assortment. And the consumer has reacted so positively. So we are excited about expanding that opportunity a little bit more and pushing in the active and lifestyle space. So I'm thrilled about the future of Addison Bay on both fronts.
Well, I am going to make sure that I share obviously your website link in the show notes. We'll also make sure to direct people to your social media accounts because those are super fun to follow along with as well. I'm excited for your June launch. I'm excited. There's a lot of exciting things coming in the pipeline. So thank you for sharing them with me today, sharing them with our audience, and for taking the time to chat today.
This was so fun. Thank you so much, Allie.